and thank you for watching Halton News right here on your TV. It's Thursday, September 24th, and I'm Jessica Kading. 16 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported in our region since yesterday, bringing our new active case total to 148 in Halton, only one of which is currently being treated in hospital. Breaking those numbers down by region, you can see that there are 19 active cases in Burlington, 88 in Oakville, 23 in Milton, and 18 now in Halton Hills. There has been a case confirmed in a staff member who works at Bruce Trail Early Learning and Child Care Center in Milton. This child care center is located inside of Bruce Trail Public School and cares for children between 18 months through 5 years of age. The school and all classrooms of the child care center remain open at this time, but the classrooms at West Oak Public School in Oakville, one classroom that is, has been closed due to a COVID-19 case there, which marks the 16th school to be affected with COVID-19 so far in our region. With the increased demand for COVID-19 testing lately causing a backlog at testing centers, Ontario has updated the testing guidelines. Effective immediately, the new guidelines say you should only get tested at an assessment center if you have COVID-19 symptoms, have been exposed to a confirmed case, or work or live in a setting that has an outbreak. There will also be testing available on a targeted basis for those who are at greater risk due to a health condition or workplace setting. As reported yesterday, select pharmacies across Ontario will begin to offer COVID-19 testing as of tomorrow, but none of them are currently located in the Halton region. Canada's Governor General Julie Payette delivered the throne speech from the Senate chamber in Ottawa yesterday, outlining the federal government's policies and plans going forward, and later Justin Trudeau addressed the nation. Today, we spoke with Burlington MP Karina Gould for the highlights.
Yeah, well, look, I was really pleased with the throne speech overall. I think it does some important things. I think first, it recognizes the moment that we're in and that we need to address, what the immediate issue and crisis is, which is COVID-19. And so we have to continue to make sure that provinces and people have the supports that they need to get through what is this health emergency that we're facing, not just here in Canada, but right around the world. And then I was particularly pleased to see, some of the initiatives that our government is committing to as we move forward, and taking care really of those that have been hardest hit by the pandemic. And we know that women in particular have been really impacted by COVID-19 and by the shutdowns, and by the burden of care that has been placed on them, particularly when it comes to childcare. So I've been a longtime advocate for childcare, and so I was really thrilled to see that creating a national early learning and childcare system featured very prominently in the speech from the throne. We've heard from so many experts that this is not just key in terms of responding to COVID-19, but when we look at economic recovery and making sure that we have women re-entering the workforce and that they have the supports that they need. There were a lot of other initiatives in there, but the other one that I want to highlight, because it's something that people have raised with me, and this is an issue that was exacerbated by COVID-19, and that's the crisis in long-term care. It was something that I heard at the doors in the last election, in the lead up to the 2019 election, that people were really worried about long-term care. And I think what unfortunately happened with COVID-19 is just really highlighted the crisis in long-term care that we have, particularly in Ontario, but right across the country. And the government's commitment to develop alongside the provinces, recognizing this is provincial jurisdiction, national standards in long-term care couldn't be more timely, as well as updating the criminal code to make sure that those who are taking care of our elders are held to account in terms of the service that they're providing.
MP Gould was then able to elaborate a little bit on what a plan for early childcare might look like.
The speech from the throne didn't provide a ton of details on this, but what it did allude to was that it would be accessible and affordable for everyone, and it would build on the experience of Quebec, right? And so in Quebec, they have a universal childcare system where I believe it's $9 a day to have access to childcare. They've seen that result in like 80% of women are in the workforce. It's boosted their productivity. It's actually a program that pretty much pays for itself, because when women are in the workforce, they're earning an income, they're paying taxes. It really is, a really important winner. And so it's really looking to, make sure that everyone who wants a childcare spot gets one, and it's affordable, it's quality, right? That I think the early learning in childcare is really important. So, it's really like the trampoline for our children as they, move through the education system. I think that's really important. And then it's also complemented by building off the commitments that we made to create more affordable and accessible before and after school care as well, recognizing that that is also a big challenge for parents who have kids right up to age 10, that you like before the school day starts and after it ends, often you're still at work, so you need to figure out how to care for how to provide care at that time. So I'm really excited about it. I'm looking forward to working with my colleagues to develop it and keep pushing forward. It's obviously something we're going to have to do in collaboration with the provinces, because they, are the service providers, but we're going to keep doing that. And I think we have, an interesting model in Quebec that we can look to build off of and hopefully expand across the country.
Meanwhile, our local Conservative MP Michael Chong says he's disappointed with the throne speech. Melissa Candelaria reports.
The government's approach will have 4 foundations. The first foundation of this plan is to fight the pandemic and save lives. The second foundation of the government's plan is supporting people and businesses through this crisis as long as it lasts, whatever it takes. Effectively dealing with the health crisis is the best thing we can do for the economy.
The Conservative Party has come out publicly to say they are not supporting the Liberal government speech from the throne. Wellington Halton Hills MP Michael Chong says the government needs to do better in working with the opposition to get support for their throne speech and fiscal update.
They haven't done that. That's clear. It looks to me that the last 6 weeks were a big exercise in saving the Liberals' hide. They prorogued Parliament, which essentially stopped all the investigations and work that parliamentarians were doing on the pandemic, on the We Charity scandal, on a number of other issues. And those committees have yet to restart. And so yesterday we had a speech from the throne that really didn't deliver what we think Canadians want, didn't really deliver anything new.
Chong says there were a couple of issues missing from the throne speech that have an effect on us locally.
The 2 biggest things that I think the government could do to address the concerns of people in Halton region and in Wellington County is first, what is the plan to help the hundreds of thousands of Canadian families who are currently deferring their mortgage payments and who don't know what's going to happen when that mortgage deferral program ends in the next 6 months? That's the first thing. The second thing is, when is the government going to approve rapid tests for COVID-19 so that people who think they might have it can get quickly tested and get an answer immediately about whether or not they have COVID-19 and can take decisions based on that information?
Not only that, Chong says the government failed to address the concerns of local farmers.
The fact is that the European Union and the American administration have delivered far more support for their farmers and for the food supply chain than has this government. Many farm associations and agricultural groups have called on the government to deliver support. It's been a very difficult time for many farmers because of the disruption in the food supply chains. Restaurants are no longer operating the way they once used to, and so the food, the products that were once produced for the restaurant supply chain just simply aren't selling, and there's been bigger demand for other products. And so the government has failed to come forward with support for that sector, even though they committed to doing that several months ago in the spring. So that's another area in which our local riding has been affected, and one where we're disappointed that the government didn't address in the speech from the throne.
The speech from the throne will be debated for the next several weeks before a confidence vote will take place. Reporting for Halton News, I'm Melissa Candelaria.
Halton residents can be proud of their drinking water. Our region is the first in Canada to receive a prestigious award as a result of our water quality and treatment system that often exceeds the standards. Nikki Wesley has more.
Halton Region is the first municipality in Canada to receive the American Waterworks Association Partnership for Safe Water Directors Award.
And it means a lot. I mean, the program has formal recognition if you put the effort and the work in, and it demonstrates their track record to providing the best quality water possible to the Halton residents every day.
Newman explains what they've been doing differently.
Well, we've definitely implemented the processes and the tools provided by the partnership in our everyday work. So we had to do that in terms of providing data. It's a very data and quality driven program. And we've worked on building our communications and operator training, which was identified in our self-assessment. So it just further helps us create that employee engagement and continuous improvement culture.
With water being an essential part of everyday life, its importance cannot be understated. Halton's water treatment team take their work very seriously. Newman attributes a great part of the win to them.
I think what it comes down to is a combination of having great people, great operators that are well trained, and also having investing in the latest technologies. So having the treatment technology, maintaining your infrastructure on the distribution side as well, to ensure that the water that goes out to the public is the highest possible quality and better than any required standards.
When they discovered that they had received the inaugural award in Canada, how did the operators react?
Like me, they were very proud. They put a lot of effort into being the best that they can be and delivering that quality product to the residents. They take pride in customer service and customer excellence, and they were extremely proud, as was I, of course. It really lends, I think, to demonstrating that the region takes pride in providing excellent quality service and products to the residents, and it helps us build on that culture of continuous improvement and excellence in service. So it's definitely great to have that recognition and be recognized for our efforts.
Reporting for Halton News, I'm Nikki Wesley.
Still ahead, Nelson Quarry has put forth an application for expansion within Burlington's escarpment land. We'll be back with that story plus your local weather forecast after this. Nelson Quarry has put forth an application for expansion within Burlington's escarpment land. If that sounds familiar, it may be because a previous expansion proposal by Nelson Quarry near Mount Nemo was met with strong citizen opposition a number of years ago. That application was rejected. The new proposal is in the review phase, and it's the topic of the next episode of Burlington Matters. Here in a preview, Ward 3 Councillor Rory Nissan outlines some of the differences with the new expansion proposal versus the last one.
One of the things, one of the questions I get a lot, and I know Councillor Nissan, you get it as well, is, you know, didn't the community already kind of render a decision? Weren't they already turned down? Why is this back? You know, like Groundhog Day. Why is this application come back? And you know, and what does council think about it? I know you and I both get that question, and we're being asked to render sort of an opinion about this expansion. We certainly don't do that at this point, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to speak to both of those and why council will not be weighing in one way or the other on this application at this time.
Sure. So yeah, first of all, we do get that question a lot. Why are they back? We already turned them down. We won, that sort of thing. And yeah, it's you know what? From a resident point of view, it seems like a fair point. The way it works, though, is an applicant can bring an application anytime if they can complete a full application. If they put the money down, they can do a new application of essentially the exact same. Now, in this case, the application is not the same. It covers a whole new area, which is what is now the Burlington Springs Golf Course, as well as carving out smaller portions south of number 2 Side Road. So it is in effect a new application, be it from essentially the same applicant as before. So we have to hear it. There's no two ways about it. It has to go through the appropriate process. That is the due process that we have in our democracy, rule of law. Now, as to whether we can, you know, give our decision on it, what I try to say to residents is, we as councillors, with our duty to the municipality, are kind of like judges. We can't say whether someone is innocent or guilty until we've heard all the evidence in court. So that means in council, hearing both sides, getting all of the reports, coming in, having all the evidence in front of us. Again, under our sort of rule of law, we have to wait until we have everything to demonstrate that we were fair, transparent, and being straight dealers.
Another beautiful day out there. Here's a shot of paddleboarding on 16 Mile Creek. Taking a look at our forecast, we have a couple more days of sunshine before those clouds roll in and give us cloud cover for the second half of our weekend. 26 degrees as our high on Friday, 25 on Saturday. The best choice this weekend if you want to plan any outdoor activity. We are expecting rain to start on Sunday and possibly stay with us all through till Tuesday. A little bit cooler temperatures starting up next week, 20 degrees on Monday and then only reaching 17 as our high on Tuesday. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur looking to build your small business, you should be aware of the Starter Company Plus program. This training and mentoring program is administered by the Halton Region Small Business Center for companies who have been in business for 12 months or less. There's also an opportunity to receive a $5,000 grant. Before applying to the program, you must attend an information session either on September 29th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. or October 1st from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. To read all the eligibility criteria and learn more about the benefits of the program, please visit halton.ca and search Starter Company Plus. And now we'll look to how some of Halton's top companies are performing on the markets today. Culture Days is about to kick off across the country. We'll have more on what's going to be offered in Milton after the break. The town of Milton kicks off Culture Days this weekend. We spoke with Arts Milton Program Coordinator Caitlin Patience, who says it's still important to promote and celebrate diversity, even if it has to be done virtually this year.
Arts Milton's mission is really to connect artists with the community, and that's even more important in a time like this when artists and gig workers are losing their income essentially. So we want to continue making these connections. We finished all of our programs this year and we are running Milton Culture Days. It is different this year. So normally it's an in-person event at the First Ontario Arts Centre Milton over a 3-day weekend, and we have about 4,000 Miltonians attending, and we have anywhere from 60 to 90 in-person activities that you can discover as you move around the building. So that's not going to be possible this year. So we are hosting most of it online. So for kids, we have some great activities, including sort of a cultural investigate your family activity with a local author. We have virtual bucket drumming for kids. We have coding with Scratch for kids and youth. We have story time with the Milton Public Library and a special Urdu story time with Sarah Aziz, a local author and illustrator. And then we also have a Sweet Sounds Early Years music class for kids. And that's just a small sample of what we're offering. For adults, we have Indian folk art, the rise and fall of eco art with Art House. We have some Bollywood dance with Bollywood West Dance Studio. We have an introduction to the creative journal, online music creation with House of Chords, and an educational series with P-Flag. For our outdoor activities, we have one more set of curbside concerts, which is something we did in the summer with a lot of success. We also have a photo challenge throughout Milton that you can do yourself each weekend. We have a mural being painted downtown at 16 Hughes Street. You can watch the artist work this weekend, September 26th and 27th. Also this weekend, you can find 3 large 6-foot wooden trees on Main Street that you can contribute to and help us decorate. And you can do nature art in the park, in Victoria Park, on October 4th. The point of Milton Culture Days is not just to bring artists to the community, it's to highlight all of the different cultures in Milton. There's so many this year. Some examples are we have facilitators who are Congolese, Caribbean, Italian, a large variety of South Asian activity organizers, as well as representatives from groups and schools that represent the blind and deaf. The easiest way to access it is to go to culturedays.ca and you're going to search for Milton Culture Days. You can also access it on the Arts Milton website, so artsmilton.com or culturedays.ca, and you'll see a list of activities from listed by date starting this weekend all the way to October 25th. And as you click into each activity, it will explain to you whether it's a live stream event or an on-site event or a pre-recorded activity. And there's no sign up. You can just add it to your calendar and then join the appropriate platform at the assigned time or find us in the community at that time.
Halton Hills, Oakville, Milton, and the City of Burlington will also be hosting Culture Days events. Check with your local city to find out what activities are happening where you live. Burlington MPP Jane McKenna is proud to announce a collaborative effort with the Electronic Recycling Association and Pediatric Oncology Group of Ontario in a 6-week-long collection drive to collect electronic devices to provide to children undergoing cancer treatments. The collection drive will run from September 24th to November 6th, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you have a laptop, computer, monitor, printer, cell phone, or tablet that you can part with, you could drop it off at Jane McKenna's office for it to then be refurbished and given to children who have been diagnosed with cancer. This way they can continue their education, stay connected with loved ones, and keep themselves entertained. Sustainable Milton invites you to join in their climate shoe strike in Milton tomorrow to demand climate justice. This shoe strike will support social distancing. You're asked to bring a pair of shoes to represent your family and friends and bring them to St. Paul's United Church and place them on the front lawn while wearing a mask. You're welcome to also place a little sign related to climate action with your shoes. If you'd like your shoes returned to you, tuck a note with your identification inside the right shoe and then pick them up where you dropped them off between 2 and 4 on the same day or Saturday between 10 a.m. and noon at the Green Eatery. Any shoes not picked up will be donated. Thanks so much for watching us here tonight. We'll be back tomorrow live at 5:30 with another Halton newscast.